What's going on YouTube? Crypto Matrix here, coming at you with another cryptocurrency stream. And over on the Bitcoin price, we've definitely formed a very clear as day descending wedge, and we are clearly putting in lower lows and higher lows, guys, which is definitely not a good sign. I want to show you guys exactly what I found in the price action patterns within patterns, as well as indication readings, to let you guys know exactly where the price action is going in the immediate, guys. There definitely could be a trade coming up soon. I want to show you guys just how to tackle that, whether long or short, over on Bybit. And there's so many other coins right now in a very interesting place as well. Retesting the 200, just breaking the 100. Guys, these are just amazing times in cryptocurrency. If you're not subscribed yet, definitely smash that subscribe button, smash that like button. And guys, I'm going to dive right into the price action. And if you haven't signed up using my links, you can save up to over $7,000 in bonuses just with using all of my links below. And if you sign up to Bybit right now, you can save over $2,600 in bonuses just by using my link right here. And don't forget about all of my giveaways, and be sure to check out the student program. Okay guys, let's talk about the Bitcoin price right here. So just in simplicity, I'm going to pull up the multi-EMA from the 7 all the way to the 200 here. And guys, just like I've been saying, I put a tweet out a couple days ago saying, are we going to hold the 200? And guys, we did get a very solid bounce off at once, but now we have a doji right here. Definitely a moment of indecision. Are we going to hold the 200, guys? If we break below it, that's definitely a very bearish sign. We could easily end up retesting around the $30,000 levels here, guys, and that's basically anticipated. If we break that, if we get a solid bounce, we could hopefully be working back up towards the top of this wedge and maybe even get a retest of the 55. And that would be extremely good, guys, because then we could maybe be retesting the top of this pattern and hopefully get a breakout. And that would put a lot of people's mind at ease right now. But guys, I just wanted to show you some things that I found in the price action just in the past before we go into patterns within patterns, just to hopefully put your guys' mind at ease right now. So let us go back to the last bull cycle, okay, when we hit up to $20,000, okay? I just wanted to talk about the price spikes and the retracements, okay? So just in simplicity, on that run up, we had many touches of the 200, okay? This one even broke it and then recovered out. As we move further along, the third retracement actually did touch the 200 and then had a massive bump through. So basically broke down very hard, 30-some%, and we've gotten, those movements along the way thus far, and then a massive run up. But even just to breaking the 55, we had an 18% recovery right there. And guys, I think this could be just mimicking something like this right now. And if you even go back to the previous bull cycle here, there was a massive run up. Like, for instance, this was not the bull cycle here, this was just part of it. So for instance, we did something just like this, broke down below the 200 and then recovered out of it, okay? So we could be mimicking that exact movement right here. And then we had a massive run up, guys. And that's actually what I think is happening right now. So just to put your guys' mind at ease, guys, that's exactly what I think is happening right now. We could even break the 200 and still have a good recovery out of it. And yes, it would just weed a lot of people out and basically be your last opportunity to get some cheap Bitcoin before its massive run up, guys. And that's what I would be looking at, guys. Man, if I had any money left, I'd be accumulating, that's for sure. But guys, as you know, I went very heavy in at this point. And for what I've cashed out, I'm actually, I'm spending on my family right now. So that's a really good feeling, guys. And in a few months, I'll be able to do that again, take some more profits and spend more on my family, guys. And that's why I'm doing this. Guys, I just wanted to show you those similarities really quickly in the bull cycle. And just, you can see from the run up that we do break it. We do break it several times on the way up here. So, we could end up easily just having a touch like right here and just, fast forwarding to right now. This was the closest thing we had to a touch prior, okay? And then other than that, this is the first retest, guys. So I think this is just a much bigger cycle, guys. I would be very surprised if we did something like this. I'd be very surprised, guys. I'd be very surprised. But in reality, we could do something just like that and kind of end up recovering and then punching higher, guys, very easily. And that would also be anticipated. I do not think we would do something like this. Okay, that would be very surprising, going too low. You know, if we break $30,000, that would be a shocker to everyone in the Bitcoin world right now. Okay, so just keep that in mind moving forward. Let's dive into some patterns within patterns. Okay guys, so we definitely had some really tiny patterns within patterns here, but I'm just going to give you the bigger pattern within pattern here. And guys, the reason I'm doing that is just because I feel like a lot of people watching my channel, they're not doing high leverage yet. And for instance, if you're trying to tackle these trades with high leverage, doing the patterns within patterns, you really need to know what you're doing, guys. So that's why I'm kind of steering you to some slightly bigger patterns right now. Because for instance, take all these tiny trades, you're using higher leverage to make your profits. And guys, it's a much more aggressive stance. You really need to know your stuff. So I'm going to basically just show you guys the bigger pattern within pattern here. Okay, and it could look just like this. And we're going to give a slight moment of oversold territory here, because I think that's a much more reasonable pattern acquisition right there. Okay, so just in simplicity, guys, we did have a couple more movements, which let me show you them right here. Okay, a nice little W formation. Okay, we basically had that target hit already. Basically right down like that, to the point of breakout, just below it, just shy, and we got a rejection, for instance, a 7 reaching back through the 20, getting a strong crossing to the downside, guys, and maybe we're getting a little bit of support right here. In simplicity, guys, if you're looking to make a trade, there's two things I really like you guys to do. For instance, I don't like you to take pattern trades, which would be, for instance, taking a trade right here, taking a trade right here, okay? But trades I do like you guys to take would be either breakout plays or indication plays, okay? So for instance, an indication play, let's just give an example. Say like or actually let's go back a second here. So right here is an indication play, okay? So for instance, we have the 7 crossing the 20, crossing the 55. I call that a trifecta, so that's an indication play. But also very close to a pattern play. So for instance, it touched the top of the pattern, basically moved the line, which originally was, you know, something like this, to right up to here, okay? So definitely widen the pattern a little bit, and that was kind of your indication, hey, we might be able to take either a trade to the downside, or if it breaks out, take the trade to the long side. Okay, so for instance, that would be a good indication of a short to the downside, and you could have rolled that for some good profits here. And in simplicity, guys, we could get another crossing to the upside here, and that would be an indication play right there. And hopefully you could get the trade and make it moving to the upside. But if the EMA stays far apart, the 20 just kind of traces, then yeah, we could be retesting the bottom of this pattern, guys. And that's exactly how I'd be tackling that trade. But just in simplicity, guys, let me pull that off for you. If you're looking to take this trade out of this pattern, look for it to break the resistance. So probably around 46.7, 46.7, 46.6, something like right around here. Okay. And then to the bottom side, it could even be, geez, could be breaking 40,000, guys. And that's exactly how I would tackle that. Because if we break either of those point levels, it's indicating a move in one way or the other. So in simplicity, guys, 46.6, 40,000 to the downside, guys. And that's exactly how I'd be tackling this trade moving forward. And guys, let's talk about Electroneum, an extremely popular coin on my channel. And guys, it's definitely some very interesting times right now because we are breaking the 200. Okay, guys, that is not a good sign. Just in simplicity, normally when we break the 200, it indicates a downtrend. Okay, and remember what I said about the bump and run. If you didn't take profits at the top, at the run, or at the break of the lead-in trend line, you're in a bit of a red run at this point. And just like I said, I did take small profits at the top, some very little at the run, very little. And then at this point, I'm not taking anymore. I will be waiting for the reversal. Okay, guys, and I suggest you guys do exactly the same thing. But just to kind of show you guys where we're at here, just from top to just right where we're at, okay, we are at around 64%, so we are slightly higher than the previous dump, okay, which is definitely a little scary, guys, but I really can't stress enough, this coin's going to be much higher. You know, we're even talking $1 range someday. Remember, they gave away coin for, you know, over a year. That doesn't help the price. And then as soon as they stopped doing, they said, guys, now is the accumulation phase. And guys, we've run up from 0.0018. We're still in some amazing places, even from, let's just show you just from 0.002 here. Even to right where we're at now, we're still up around 600 and some percent. Okay, so it's still a really good place right now, but on the indication wise, we are breaking the 200, guys. That is not a good sign. Let's pull up the patterns within patterns so we can get a good representation of where we're going in the short term. Okay guys, so we definitely had a very clear pattern within pattern to play out right here. And there's definitely some smaller patterns, but again, I'm just going to show you the kind of medium-sized patterns right now so you guys can get a good idea of the price action movement. And without getting too aggressive, remember the smaller trades are basically for leverage, and you know, it's a much more aggressive stance, guys. So I kind of want to just break it down on the bigger time frames, basically larger patterns and then medium-sized patterns within patterns to kind of give you guys a more of a safe approach here. Because when you're doing these really tiny trades, it gets real aggressive and you really have to know your stuff. Okay, so just in simplicity, guys, we had a horizontal triangle right here and then measured from the back to the point of breakout, guys. And we're basically en route for that right now, but we are getting a little bit of volume and the volume is really low as well. So we're kind of going to be moving to the sideways and hopefully up, especially if this continues to be green. But guys, we could end up going down further. As you can see, just look how wide all of these EMAs are. They are really wide right now. Hopefully we can see a little bit of a turnaround, guys, but we need volume to come back into the market. And as I like to say, you've got to believe. I feel like there's some weak hands among Electroneum, and that sucks for them because they're going to cash out at these times. And oh boy, that's going to be a big regret for you guys. I'd be very surprised if Electroneum did something like an exit scam or just, you know, bailed on everybody. I don't see that coming. Again, guys, you know, my win ratio is extremely high right now. This would actually be the first coin that I've really gotten wrecked, so I don't think that's coming. And again, still up in the 600 plus profits here, you know, so really in a good place. But we must play our indication. We must remain neutral, guys. If the price is moving down, I'm going to tell you so. But again, just looking at it right here, we could be getting a little bit of a pump. Hopefully, retesting up the 20, and then if we break that, the 55, and so on, guys. And if we can break back above the 200, even on the 15, that's a great sign, guys. But just remember to zoom out when in doubt so you get a good representation of where the price action is going in the immediate. And guys, what is going on with Filecoin? Are we breaking down? Basically, the 200 isn't even showing up yet. But if I had to put one down, I would basically say it's right where that wick ended up going down, guys. And I could definitely see, you know, getting a strong bounce here and then a recovery. I was actually very surprised to see it kind of drop down like this, to be honest with you. I did predict a $240 Filecoin, and guys, we hit that. So that is really awesome. But guys, there's definitely been a big sell-off since then. A lot of people worried in this project. But guys, I really think this one will be, you know, $300 before the year's end, and you'd be very foolish to be selling in these points right now, guys. For instance, I did not take too much. I took very little profit up here, you know, basically just a small percentage, and the remainder I am waiting for the reversal here. So guys, that is my plan with Filecoin, but let's jump into the smaller time frames to get a good understanding where the price action is going in the immediate. Okay guys, so we definitely have a very clear descending wedge here. Look at all these touches. Doesn't get any smoother than that. And I'm going to call a couple spots of oversold territory right there. But that's what we're looking at in the immediate right here. And there's definitely some patterns within patterns all over the place here. A bunch of them back here, but we're just going to start up here. Okay, so for instance, we had a nice W formation right here. This could also be considered a double bottom. It is pretty clean. Okay, right through like that. I'm going to keep drawing all the patterns first. Okay, so then we have a head and shoulders. Okay, through like that. Okay, and then another W. Again, a little dirty. But let me draw everything out for you guys. All of these targets were just easily hit, guys. Look at this. Many examples of just really good measurements here. And we are getting the breakout out of the W right now, which is a very good sign. Hopefully we'll be retesting the top of this pattern. And guys, in simplicity, when looking to take this trade, watch for it to break the resistance, in which case you would go long, basically around probably around $103, $102. And again, if we break way down, we're talking below $90. If we break $90, guys, that's your shorting opportunity. And that's exactly what I'm looking at in Filecoin, guys. We need the 7 to cross the 20, to cross the 55. We need volume to come into the market in a good way to push this price back up. Otherwise, we're kind of going to be moving sideways and waiting for that, you know, tightening of consolidation to cause an explosion of price action, aka a breakout. Okay, guys, play your indications into patterns and your patterns within patterns. to take this trade. And guys, I want to talk about Link just real quick before we dive into the patterns within patterns and the smaller time frames. We did break down out of this pattern and are retesting all of the EMAs right now. Basically going to be retesting the 100 if we continue down. But guys, we still are looking extremely healthy. Remember what I've been saying about Chainlink. We could easily see some higher prices. And yeah, guys, we hit $50 just like I predicted, having the retracement, but it looks like we are working back up. Let's jump into the patterns within patterns. Okay, guys, so there's definitely a bunch of patterns going on right now, but let's just talk about a few which are jumping out to me in the recent history. So for instance, we could have a big descending wedge here, and I think we'll just call those moments oversold territory. Definitely a descending wedge, and guys, we could be getting a breakout really soon. For instance, we have all the crossings right now. We are retesting the pattern right now. In simplicity, guys, go right over to Bybit and get your trades ready for either a long or a rejection. And in which case, if volume comes into the market, say like we get green volume in, all of the EMAs widening up, we will get the breakout right here. In case, guys, that's where you take your position right around, I'd say right around 41, geez, right where we're at right now. So like 41.5, but then remember to set your stop loss at the previous movement retracement. So right down here is at $39 here. That's where I'd be putting my stop loss, guys. Remember, when setting your stop loss, in simplicity, I always tell people, 5 to 10% just to make it simple for you guys. But the way you really want to do it is when you are getting a movement like this and you're getting a possible breakout, you put your stop loss at the previous retracement, especially if it's, moving right into it like that. So it ends up being right around the 200 on the 15 or the 100, basically right around that range. And that's how I'd set up my stop loss, guys. But just in simplicity, we break out right here around 41.4. That's where I'd be putting my long. Make sure to set your stop losses in case it rebounds back. If it does, play your indication, watch the crossing, and you can ride it all the way down for another retest, guys. Real simple stuff. I like to make this simple. Simplicity is the key to success in trading. And guys, real quick, let's talk about mana. This is on the day time frame, and guys, it's looking extremely healthy. If anything, we will get a retest of the 100, guys. But man, looking really healthy. We could easily see some much higher prices. A lot of people are really worried right now just with the way the Bitcoin price is moving, guys. But you know what? As I've always said, I'm not worried about it. I'm really not. It just looks like a mimicking of history. And guys, I've been around for this for some time. I'm not going to get weeded out easily. It's going to be very hard for them when I say them, it's going to be very hard for anyone to get me to sell my coin. But the reality is, guys, I just believe in much higher times. I believe in cryptocurrency as a whole, and it will play out. But let's dive into some patterns within patterns just to show you guys where this is going in the short term. Okay, so let's just talk about the patterns within pattern, the smaller patterns right now, because we definitely had a whole bunch of stuff going on right here. So for instance, very strong W or double bottom right there. And guys, you can clearly see just how big we punched out of this. This is crazy. Okay, so I mean, we smashed through this thing. We smashed through it. Okay, and then we formed another descending wedge, although it's very abrupt, very sharp. Okay, so the way I'd like to measure this one would be using wedge theory. Although if we get a bunch of volume, we could easily end up hitting the top target right up here, which is textbook wedge measurement. Okay, and just if you guys aren't sure about wedge theory or you haven't heard me talk about it yet, I like to measure wedges based on the size of their movement, just like, for instance, triangles or other patterns are measured based on their size and relevance to target projection. That's how I like to do the same kind of measurement. And I've found it very interesting that they don't do that, because it ends up yielding really good target projections very readily. Okay, so we could be getting that breakout right now. Okay, so definitely be watching for that on mana, guys. You could be getting a breakout to the upside right now. We are retesting the 7, hitting the 20, and in which case, if that pulls up, breaks the 55 there, that's where we look for short-term plays, guys. And just in simplicity, I like to kind of pull off the 100 and the 200 for a minute when I'm talking day trading, because that's what's really relevant. The 7 crossing the 20 are your opportunities. For instance, here was your shorting. Here's a possible longing opportunity. Here was a longing opportunity. Here was a shorting opportunity. Here was another big shorting opportunity, guys. They are that readily available daily, guys. I hope you guys understand there are that many opportunities to make money in this field. And guys, that's all the time I have for today. These are just biblical times in cryptocurrency. I could not be happier with the student program, guys. Everyone is just really crushing it. I think out of over 100 people, maybe only 2 have not been able to replicate, guys, and that's just an amazing win ratio. Guys, I cannot stress enough, if you are not getting the profits you feel like you deserve, or you're with a supposed professional that's saying, we don't have a crystal ball, I can't predict where the price action is going, guys, that is just BS. If you're with a professional that can't read the price action, they shouldn't have your money. And guys, if you don't understand the benefit of what I'm offering here, and you're thinking about going to a trade school, understand at a trade school you're going to be in a group environment, maybe even the same kind of video class just like us, a much higher price, many other people asking questions. There's no guaranteed absorb rate. What I'm doing is one-on-one. It's almost a guaranteed absorption rate, which means you're going to absorb the information because I'm dedicating solely one-on-one time to you. And guys, when you're learning from a professional who's doing this every single day, it makes it really easy to replicate. Guys, that's why the success rate among the group is so high. And guys, just for transparency, I'm very good at being able to, figure out your needs and basically what you need to be able to, bring on and understand that you can actually do these trades, guys. That's my gift. So, I'm trying to share that with as many people as possible. And at this point, guys, I really do have an army of students to back this up, guys. Tell them what it's all about, students. Show them the way, guys. The reality is we want to unplug as many minds as we can. Guys, remember, if you don't come from a rich family must come from you. And with cryptocurrency, I make it as easy as riding that wave. I am Crypto Matrix. I'll catch you guys later.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.